All right, everybody. You know who this is.
Are you going live already?
I just went live, man. Managing director of K2 Promotions, K2 boss. What's a managing director? How come you're not like CEO or president or promoter, or why is it managing director?
I just manage the company. I don't own the company.
So. Oh, right. Okay. You don't own the company.
Vladimir Vitelli.
Okay. The Klitschko's company. That's why it's K2.
Yeah, exactly.
Two Klitschko's.
I actually came up with a name, but they own the company.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You got like some kind of equity. You're like Bernard Hopkins, right? You're like Bernard with Golden Boy when they signed him. Like, you got a piece of the company, homie.
After the next fight, Bernard's share is going to go up.
Yeah, you know what? I think so. And check it out. This is he's part of the Tom Loeffler fan club, everybody. This is a pic of Tom with his that TV show he did, that pilot he did in the early 90s.
Usually we're out here with our Triple G gear on Sunday mornings, but today, because the fight was made, we have our Tom Loeffler gear.
Right on, man.
This is in honor of the fight being made, the big fight.
All right, so let's, Tom, you know JP's like our resident odds maker, right? And so he keeps track of this sort of stuff. Talk to us about the odds, so the betting odds with Triple G versus Canelo.
It's really interesting because when the fight was talked about being made like a year ago, Triple G was like a 4 or 5 to 1 favorite.
I thought he was like 6 to 1 favorite.
Possibly. Yeah. At the European books, it is like $1.50 now, which means you have to bet $1.50, maybe a little more, $1.70 for every dollar. So $170 wins you 100 on Triple G. I think it's a really good opportunity.
And in layman terms, basically, Golovkin is like a little under a 2 to 1 favorite.
He's a little
I say 8 to 5.
8 to 5. He's a little under a 2 to 1 favorite, which is credit to Canelo for looking great.
Yep.
That Jacobs fight is interesting if you're a Triple G backer because it's a great opportunity now.
Or if you're a Triple G hater.
Yeah.
Remember, he got exposed in the.
Yes. Well, he had been. Yeah, that was his third exposure. First, he was exposed by Willie Monroe Jr.
Yeah.
Then he was exposed by Kell Brook.
Kell Brook, right.
And then he was exposed.
So he's been exposed 3 times.
All right. So this guy says Triple G late stoppage. Canelo isn't going to be able to move like Jacobs. Well, that's the great thing about the fight is that Canelo doesn't move around a whole lot. Well, heavy hands but heavy feet.
Getting to what JP said, I think this is the first time that
you got some fans. Somebody called you a fox. Congrats on landing a big fish. The redhead, yeah. And Roman Gonzalez, Soar Rungvisai, co-event to Triple G Canelo. Have you guys talked about the undercard yet?
That won't be. This will be the first time. Chocolatito won't be a co-feature for Gennady for a long time. But the good news is that. Been talking to Peter Nelson, and looks like we get our own date for Chocolatito.
I think that's better for Chocolatito.
I mean, he deserves his main event status. He deserves the rematch. It was a very controversial decision or loss in the last fight, and the WBC ordered the immediate rematch. So we'll see how that plays out.
Good job with the WBC doing that. I thought that fight merits an immediate rematch.
Yeah, especially after such a long title reign that Chocolatito had, and he pretty much fought everyone. Was in a war every time he stepped in the ring, and with Cicerquet, he took advantage of the opportunity being on the huge platform at Madison Square Garden.
He fought the fight of his life.
Yeah,
and I think that's maybe the front runner for fight of the year so far.
I think so
for 2017. Yeah. Now, Tom, early last week.
Between that one and Joshua Klitschko, I think of the two.
Yeah, you know what? Joshua Klitschko, higher profile. It's probably a stronger front runner amongst the media and the fans. But you were at the Golden Boy offices on Tuesday. I know you can't divulge everything you guys talked about, but are you guys in the planning stages as far as some kind of press tour or
I mean, we
media
had
events leading into the fight?
Yeah, we had some preliminary discussions. Everything really came together so last minute. I was even telling people I wasn't sure if Gennady would make it up to Vegas because he showed up probably about an hour before the fight started.
A lot of flight delays out of LA.
Out of LA, and so now we're just going over the logistics of it. A huge event like this just takes so much planning, so much marketing, logistic planning. Even the event site isn't done yet.
Right
venue,
now,
so.
obviously, I'm guessing Golden Boy is kind of like the lead promoter on this event.
That was part of our
right.
part of the agreement.
But do you have a say-so? Are you part of that discussion when it comes to finding an arena, a venue for this event?
It's similar to what we did. You know, we had very good cooperation with the Lemieux fight. That was the first champion that actually agreed to get in the ring with Gennady. So we have a lot of respect for Lemieux, and we have a lot of respect for Golden Boy for actually putting that, helping make that fight.
Yeah, somebody had asked if David Lemieux versus Danny Jacobs could be like the co-feature on that.
That's
undercard.
A great fight. I mean, Danny
it's not
also,
out of the realm of possibility.
When you talk about Sisterkit fighting the fight of his life, Danny, I think, fought the fight of his life also.
Yes,
really
he did.
Rose to the occasion. And I think that didn't hurt. To help make this fight happen. I always thought it would happen in September. It just depended on under what conditions.
Right.
And both sides made some concessions. We made, I think, a little bit more concessions on our side just to get the fight. But it's clearly, I think it's clearly the biggest payday for both guys. So I think it's fair in that regard. And it's just the sum of the event is bigger than the two fighters. When you look at Triple G's fan base. When you look at Canelo's fan base, Canelo sold 50,000 tickets at Cowboy Stadium, but if he fights Triple G, I think you're looking at 90 or 100,000.
Yeah, it packs the arena.
Yeah, the same thing.
What are the pros and cons between this fight landing in Vegas and this fight landing at AT&T Stadium, where a lot of fans would like it to take place because they have a chance of actually being there in the arena and seeing it live?
Yeah. I mean, we're just going through all the offers right now. I mean, Dodger Stadium, Magic Johnson threw their hat in the ring last week. They made a strong offer.
I heard the city of New Orleans and with the Superdome also
New Orleans
gave
showed a lot of
Golden
interest.
Boy a call.
Yeah, that's true as well. And Madison Square Garden, where Gennady's fought, a number of times. Canelo's never fought there, so that would be a new market for him. Texas,
you guys would have to go to Dodger Stadium. Come on, man. You did it in New York, right?
Dodger Stadium would be great. I mean, that would be Gennady's thrown out the first pitch there twice, and that would be a huge event at Dodger Stadium, especially with the backing of their management group. But Las Vegas, Gennady's never fought in Las Vegas. That's
a good point. I never really thought about that.
That appeal. We were always waiting for the right fight to go to Vegas.
Sure.
We wanted to build them in Los Angeles and in New York as far as being a big ticket seller, but Las Vegas, we wanted to wait for that really high-profile fight to take them there. And
well, you got it.
It doesn't get higher profile than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Vegas will make a really strong offer. I think really Vegas is the front runner, and a close second would be Jerry's World.
It just depends on how committed Jerry would be to bringing this. Finally made it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It just depends on how committed Jerry is, as far as backing the event.
Right.
But, it doesn't also, that's a huge event just being at Cowboy Stadium, AT&T Stadium.
Well, it sends a very strong message about the health of the sport worldwide, but particularly in North America. We've seen, stadium fights in Europe for a long time now with the Klitschko's, and of course with Klitschko versus Joshua. 90,000. That made headlines worldwide. But it'd be great to show that it could happen twice in the same year in two different continents. I think that really it speaks to the health and the upsurge with the sport of boxing. Somebody asked about Usyk. He's promoted by K2.
Yes.
Alexander Usyk, the WBC. Is he
WBO
WBC?
Cruiserweight champion.
WBO Cruiserweight champion,
and,
right?
Olympic gold medalist.
An Olympic gold medalist. So they said. Is he in the running for that World Series of Boxing thing that Schaefer's involved with the Sauerland brothers? Because they said cruiserweight would be one of the divisions for that tournament, or is he in the running to be on the undercard of Canelo Triple G?
It actually looks like he's going to have a homecoming fight. Alexander Krasyuk is going to promote a fight. As K2 Ukraine is going to promote a fight in Ukraine.
And that makes sense because he's a huge star over there.
He's a huge star over there. He's built up his entire career. Nine fights in the Ukraine.
This person says he wants to see Usyk decapitate Bellew. Well, that's a big fight as far as. And they could do that. It's sort of like they would do that. It wouldn't be cruiserweight. I bet it'd be small heavyweight. It would be like 210, right?
Actually, I get along with Tony very well. I like Tony. He's a likable guy.
He's great.
What he pulled off in that hay fight. When I saw them standing next to each other at the weigh-in, I texted Eddie. I said, "This is going to be a tough fight." For Tony.
It's been a good year for underdogs, except for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Somebody was right about him.
Dave called that 100%.
Oh, yeah,
I thought it'd be a pretty competitive fight.
Yeah, I thought he would lose in a competitive effort.
Right,
but
with the
effort
Chavez's size.
and Junior, those words don't really mix.
But Dave called it. He was 100% right on that. It was a complete shutout. 12 rounds to nothing. And but you got to give Canelo credit. He fought the bigger guy, fought it heavier. And see, now he's got to come down and weight.
How do you think he looked? How do you think he looked? You were sitting there ringside. How do you think Canelo looked going 12 rounds at that weight?
His speed was tremendous. His combinations were great. Fighting the taller guy.
How'd you like his jab?
It was a great jab. I think that's where I think the fight with Triple G is so intriguing. Just how their styles match up. You see how Triple G dominated Lemieux, and you see how Canelo dominated Chavez. And so when you put those two forces together with the jabs that they displayed in those fights, I think that's what the boxing fans are looking forward to. And that's why this is the lowest odds of any Triple G fight that we've had. I mean, we were begging big names to get in the ring with them.
Well, see, this is one of the reasons why I think the fight should happen now as opposed to last year. Last year, Canelo was like a 5-1, 6-1 underdog. So you have a big event because of the names.
Triple G got exposed by Brook and Jacobs.
Well,
now it's
right.
a much closer odds. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, when you're going into a huge event, supposedly the biggest fight in boxing, do you want it to be a mismatch on paper, or do you want it to be a fight where, at least 40% of those interested are picking the underdog,
well,
right?
That's what drives the event. Ticket sales, pay-per-view buys is the intrigue. If one side or if the fans are confident one side is going to win, then there's less intrigue, there's less interest, and that's what really drives the mystique for this fight.
I think the odds could even get closer before fight time because all those guys who bet Chavez are going to bet Canelo. And it's seen as a much more competitive fight now. So when there's betting action both sides, it's going to be awesome. It's going to drive the pay-per-view sales. Huge, huge event. But it's exciting because I know smart guys on both sides. I know smart guys picking each fighter.
Yeah.
Triple G's going to win.
Oh, okay. All right.
Take it from JP.
Somebody asked earlier, who's your pick in the Kell Brook Errol Spence fight?
I think that's a great fight. That's another terrific fight. Eddie put that together. We give Kell Brook a lot of credit after so many middleweights wouldn't step up to fight Gennady. He was an undefeated welterweight champion. He came up. I don't know if I can really say he came up because he outweighed Gennady. There was 5 different weigh-ins.
Like pretty much everybody Gennady's ever fought.
Well, every weigh-in, Kell was heavier. But
ever since Gennady won that WBC interim title and started partaking in the 30-day advanced weigh-ins, all of his opponents are light heavyweights. He's never heavier than 165. And that goes all the way. That goes all the way back to Marco Antonio Rubio in 2014. Yeah, and that's something. That's a stat people can look up.
And Kell came in, I think, like 170.
But everyone wants Golovkin to go up to light heavyweight because he just hasn't done enough.
Well, but getting back to that fight, I mean, we have a tremendous respect for Kell and his heart and his courage. I would lean towards Kell with the experience that he got from the Triple G fight, with the way he beat Sean Porter.
Yeah.
He can't. I mean,
and home court advantage. That's a real thing. I mean, the fight's in Sheffield.
Trust me, when we went there to London and fought Kell in front of it was probably 80% UK fans, and I mean Triple G has fans wherever he goes. And that fight sold out in 11 minutes when the Triple G went out there. But this fight is, Errol Spence is probably one of the top guys coming up. He's got a tremendous future. I just think, like Abel said, it's a little bit too soon for him.
I agree.
We got to give him credit. A lot of fighters won't leave their city.
No.
Won't leave their state.
No.
Won't leave the United States. And,
no.
And here's Errol Spence.
Credit to Spence.
When you're challenging for the title, those are things that you have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, Gennady didn't have to go to London to fight Kell Brook, but that was opening another market for him.
Yeah.
And just like
it was a good move on your part.
Just like it would for Texas or Vegas. Those are two markets that Gennady hasn't fought in.
All right. Does anybody else have questions for Tom Loeffler?
I have a few questions.
Oh, okay.
Aside from
here comes the tough questions.
So I wanted to know.
That's hilarious.
I'm trying to figure out who you look like, Tom.
I got to figure out my royalty structure. With Dave on that.
I took
All right, exactly, man.
This is when you took Triple G to the Quiet Canyon.
Oh,
And
okay.
I took a picture.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You
So
look
got
like a
from there.
movie star.
Yeah, I was
So
going to say a cross between Bob Saget and Hank Azaria,
Yeah, Bob
maybe.
Saget.
I was
Yeah.
going to say Brad Pitt.
Oh, well, yeah, right. This guy says Tom looks like a typical Russian guy.
Hey, so Tom, everyone asks
Russian
about these
now.
fights. I want to ask you some about your personal life.
Okay.
Okay, so where'd you go to school?
Where did I go to school? I went to high school in the Valley, in El Camino, Woodland Hills, and then college at Cal State Northridge.
And then
I stayed local. I was a local guy.
Yeah, you actually stuck around.
My father passed away early, so I kind of helped with my mom with different things. So yeah, I stayed local. I'm still local now, out in Santa Monica.
and how did you get into boxing?
How did I get into boxing? That's an interesting question.
It's merchandise,
That's a
right?
long story.
Yeah.
It was actually memorabilia. sports
Memorabilia, yeah, that's right.
I had a close friend from high school, Harlan Werner, who was representing all the top names in sports as far as retired athletes.
Yeah.
His biggest client was Muhammad Ali. But he was representing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jim Brown, Magic Johnson. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, all the different guys that Sandy Koufax. Sandy was a great guy.
Yeah.
Or is a great guy, I should say. And Joe Namath. I actually caught a pass from Joe Namath when he was signing footballs, and he was throwing them to me.
Wow.
So
How many
it
folks
was
can say that?
it
Yeah.
was pretty cool working with Harlan, and Harlan wanted to sign some active boxers, because of the connection with Ali and
Sure.
all the doors that he was able to open. And so our first fighter that we signed was Kevin Kelly.
Kevin Kelly out of Flushing, New York, the Flushing Flash.
Flushing Flash, and Obakar, the Motor City car. Probably Oba, in my opinion, was the best fighter that never won a world title.
Yeah,
That-
he's
that-
in that. Yeah.
At the time he came up as welterweight, he
Yeah.
fought Oscar De La Hoya, he fought Felix Trinidad. He put Trinidad down in the second round.
Yeah, and he fought Ike Corte.
And he fought Ike Corte.
Took him the
I mean,
distance, and it was a good fight. Yeah.
3 Hall of Fame fighters.
All of them undefeated at the time, and all of them at their absolute prime.
He could beat everyone else. He just couldn't beat those three.
Yeah.
Those 3 champions.
That's true. It was wrong place, wrong time, wrong division for Obakar.
Yeah.
So who was your favorite boxer when you were growing up?
My favorite boxer, I had 2. I liked Ray Leonard. He was, kind of the national hero, and also Tyson. I mean, Tyson.
Can't go wrong there.
Tyson shares a birthday month with me. He was born the same month, the same year as me. So
All right.
I really followed his career and being the youngest heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And so he was, fun to watch.
Okay, and what was the first fight you attended live?
Oh, the first live fight. It would have been one of Kevin Kelly's fights when he was fighting at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, yeah.
He was promoted by
MSG.
MSG Boxing.
Yeah.
Bobby Goodman, Carl Moretti was the matchmaker. Back then, it was go back.
This guy keeps asking me, he wants me to ask you. He keeps bugging me.
Is that a trick question?
He wants me to ask you how do people get into the promotional business, and I'm like, dude, shut up and listen to him. He's telling you his story. Holy shit, people, come on.
That goes back 25 years. That was
it takes a long time.
I think 91 when we first started working with Kevin, and he fought at the.
Hear that, dude? 1991, he started in the business. It takes a long time.
Tell him to call Engelbrook. He went to school on
Oh,
it.
He's got a fight promoter university. Yeah, Roy Engelbrecht.
Yeah.
I was at the Hamed Kelly fight. Yeah, we made that fight. That was one of the best fights also in boxing history.
Yeah.
But there was more knockdowns.
Made a lot of fans.
There was 6 knockdowns in 4 rounds in
Yeah.
that fight. It was just a tremendous thing. I remember, just a couple stories about Kevin when he had some of those great wars at the theater at the Garden. And Buddy McGirt showed up one time. Buddy was the main event, and Kevin was the co-feature. And they were both at the weigh-in. And Buddy, it was a cold day in New York. He showed up with his full-length mink coat.
Yeah.
It was just that classic in the hat.
Yeah.
It was just that classic New York fight style. So it was pretty cool. Knowing Buddy
good times,
that long
man.
as well.
And then how did you get associated with the Klitschko's?
The Klitschko's is that's an interesting question because I started first managing boxers. We were managing Kevin and
I remember those days.
And then
yeah.
we signed a few more fighters: Carlos Navarro, Pedro Pena. Worked with Shane Mosley.
Oh, real quick, when does official Triple G Jordan brand gear come out?
we're
Is it
working
available
on
now, or it's not available now? Yeah, no, this is like the third time somebody's asked about that. Yeah.
We're really pushing Jordan on that one.
Okay.
The deal there is that we're able to sell Triple G merchandise at the events.
Yeah.
It's just not.
So there you go, guys. You got to go to a Triple G fight, and then you could buy that.
There is a couple. They did make a couple of shirts that are on the Triple G website. It's shopggg.com, and there you can find autographed gloves. And then there's 2 different versions of the official Jordan shirt, but we're pushing them for more merchandise and hats and things.
Will they be doing something with the Kazakhstan flag?
I mean, they make everything.
Somebody asked that.
They make everything for Fight Week, and naturally his shoes, his custom.
And here's
shoes.
one that keeps coming up. Any plans to sign any British boxers and get into the British market?
Look, I have a great relationship with Eddie Hearn, with Frank Warren. And I have a lot of respect for all the British fighters. I mean, what can you say about Anthony Joshua? The way he got off the canvas. I mean, both with Vladimir and Joshua.
Yeah.
But there's some great. I think right now the British boxing market is the hottest market going. I mean, the way they have,
without a doubt,
all their dates.
Can't even debate that.
The television dates, selling out Wembley, selling out the big
and just
arenas.
the number of world-class fighters who have dedicated fan bases in various parts, from London to Manchester to Sheffield, like we'll see later
Katie Taylor
this month.
coming up now. You got McConlin. They got a lot of young guys, young fighters coming up now.
You're right
as well. So if there's an opportunity to sign, I mean, Olaf Lobby is British. We're working with Afolabi. We could never really get him a fight.
Yeah, that's right.
We could never get him a fight in Britain.
Afolabi was born in London, man. That's right, man.
And he used to work out here, sort of.
Oh yeah, yeah, for him.
Yeah, if you could call that.
He's actually, he's fighting in Germany. Yeah, so.
So was that Ed Mahone, the guy you connected?
Yeah. So I digressed a little bit.
Mahone.
The Hammer.
Right.
He was undefeated. He was 25-0.
Yeah, he was a heavyweight prospect.
He was with Foreign Boxing.
Foreign Boxing.
See, 2 of the venues that we do a lot of the fights now at MSG and Foreign Boxing come up now. But
so you met them. You got to know the Klitschko's after taking Mahone over there to Germany, right?
Well, we signed more fighters. We signed, like I said, Carlos Navarro, Pedro Pena. We signed Shane Mosley. We got Shane his world title shot. That's when I had a good relationship with Cedric Kushner. When he was promoting Kevin Kelly.
Yeah.
And I got Cedric to, after no fighters wanted to fight him, and the promoters, he didn't really sell a lot of tickets locally here. He was a great fighter, so the fighters didn't want to fight him. They knew him from the amateurs, but he didn't sell a lot of tickets. So, no one really, it was one of those risk-reward type of things.
Yeah.
Same thing we were going through with Golovkin. And so we got Cedric, we signed a deal with Shane and guaranteed him a world title shot within a year. And
Tom's talking about Shane Mosley, folks.
We were able to put that fight together.
So Tom, you were part of Mosley getting his shot at IBF title holder, lightweight title holder Philip Holiday.
Right? Because Cedric had
that was a Boxing After Dark on HBO showcase.
That was the first fight at the, I believe it was the Mohegan Sun, the new arena that they had opened, or the new ballroom, whichever it was.
And
it was
I believe it was 20 years ago, almost. I think in June or July it will be 20 years.
96 or 97, yeah.
That's right, man.
Yeah, so we got Shane his world title.
And it seems
fight.
like yesterday to me, by the way.
Yeah.
No bullshit.
That was, it doesn't seem
this
that
guy
long
says,
ago.
I bet Tom is a good poker player. Oh, shit. You got to be in this business.
And then we signed Ed, and Ed, he had a couple fights at the Forum. He was with Foreign Boxing. He was undefeated. He had, like you called him, the Hammer. He had a big punch.
And he was in some wild fights too.
He fought. I wound up getting him the fight with Vitaly Klitschko. I think he was even either the mandatory or he was.
I think he was WBO mandatory. Yeah.
That's when Vitaly had the WBO title. Yep. That was 1999 in Oberhausen, Germany. I remember that like it was yesterday. And I had a close relationship with Bernd Bonte, who's the manager of the Klitschko's now. But he was doing PR for the boxing promotion company at that time.
Universum.
With Universum, right. And so it was Ed's birthday, actually, over there during that fight week. And so Bernd had, a birthday cake. And so anyway, Bernd had explained to Vitaly that I was doing a lot of stuff with Ali at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I always try to keep a good relationship with all the opponents. I should say, even Danny Jacobs. I have a great relationship with Danny. I think he's a tremendous guy.
He is.
Bellbrook so with Vitaly, then I said, if you ever want to come to LA, if you want to meet Ali, if you want to come visit, you're always invited. And so 6 months later, I got a message from Bernd that he wants to come to LA. And actually, he came over. His wife was pregnant. They had the baby here at Cedar Sinai, and they got to meet. Vitaly got to meet Ali, and I was, developed a personal relationship with him. And we would go to lunch a lot of times. He would ask me a lot of business questions about his career, and he was getting a little bit frustrated with Universum at the time. And
they wanted to come over here. They wanted to fight in the U.S. That was a goal.
They wanted the higher profile fights also. And, you know, I told Vitaly at that point when the contract was over with Universal, I said, look, you should just start your own promotional company. The TV networks will deal with you directly. The arenas will deal with you directly. You know, that was after we started in 2003. That's when he fought that tremendous fight against Lennox Lewis. That was another...
I think that was 2004.
Lennox was 2003.
Was it 2000? Yeah, you're right. It was 2004 was the South African there.
Right.
That's right.
Then that was our first show. If you look at promoters...
That seems like yesterday.
If you look at the typical path of promoters, usually they'll start with club shows and sign a few local fighters, and then they'll get to maybe like an ESPN date, and then they'll get up to, you know, higher level TV dates and bigger arenas. And we kind of started. I started trial by fire. We did the first show at Staples Center.
Clash of the Titans, man. Holy crap.
It was the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. It was on HBO World Championship Boxing. It was on all the international TV stations.
You know what I remember about that fight? Originally, the main event was Lennox Lewis versus Kirk Johnson, the dude from Canada. So it was like Canada, kind of.
That's right.
Versus Canada. And because Lennox Lewis fought for Canada in the Olympics and kind of grew up over there, even though he was born in England. And Kirk Johnson pulled out 2 weeks before the fight. Vitaly was fighting somebody on the... Was it Cedric Boswell?
It was Cedric Boswell.
Dude.
And the interesting thing about that story...
I don't forget a damn thing.
If you go back...
But Vitaly just stepped up from the co-feature into the main event. That was kind of awesome. The card was saved.
That was a really interesting, the way that whole thing worked out, because originally it was Lennox Lewis against Kirk Johnson, but it was to Mike Tyson as the co-feature because Lennox was a champion, but Tyson was a ticket seller.
Yes.
And they needed Tyson. Because
they were trying to build up that rematch. They still wanted to do a Lennox-Tyson rematch because the first one, the pay-per-view, did so strong.
So that's when Vitaly was the mandatory for Lennox, and we were chasing him, and Lennox kept getting exceptions and wouldn't fight him. And then so they had the press conference down there and at Staples, and you know, I gave some of the guys a heads up that we wanted to bring. We weren't going to crash the press conference, but they were going to bring both Vladimir and Vitaly down there. And you know, as soon as we pulled up to the parking lot, Steve Kim runs over. He sees me parking. Steve Kim runs over and says, "Tom, Tyson pulled out. He's not fighting on the show." And all of a sudden, like a light bulb went on in my head, and I'm like, okay, well, if Tyson pulled out, there's no better person to replace Mike Tyson than Vitaly Klitschko, who can sell a lot of tickets here to the Ukrainian community in Los Angeles. And so we got him, you know, through the help of AEG and Staples. Dan Beckerman is still there. He was CFO back then, I think. Now he's the CEO. He's really skyrocketed in his career, but that's how far back we go with Staples, and that was a tremendous. So anyway, so we got Vitaly as a co-feature after Tyson pulled out, and everything was going fine. And then, like you said, Kirk Johnson got injured, and HBO said, okay, you can either cancel the date, or they pretty much said you can fight Vitaly. And the WBC, the arrangement we had with WBC at the time was that Lennox couldn't fight anyone else in a title defense. They gave him one last title defense against Kirk Johnson, and then he had to fight Vitaly. So he couldn't say, okay, I'm going to fight someone else, because according to the order from WBC, he had to fight Vitaly. So he was kind of boxed in. The only question was, would Lennox fight him on that date, or would we reschedule it for a future date? And you know, Lennox had been training, Vitaly had been training. And you got to give them credit. They both agreed to fight each other on 2 weeks' notice, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I called it Clash of the Titans. I think that was maybe the headline for my Max Boxing story.
I still
now,
think,
did you know that was going to be Lewis's last professional fight?
Oh, we were hoping for the rematch. I mean, Vitaly was convinced that he would beat him, and we really thought he would have beat him the first time.
I knew we would never see Lewis again.
That was
the way he walked out of that ring. His legs were like rubber, man. Well, he knows. He knows that was his last fight. Like, he knew, like, in his body, like, you know what?
He knew if that fight would have kept going on, the tide was definitely turning for Vitaly. When Lennox hit him with that uppercut and couldn't hurt Vitaly, then I think
like
mentally,
a thunderclap. Yeah.
Mentally, it just was like, I can't hurt him with my best punch. What am I going to do? And Vitaly just kept coming forward, even though his eye was bleeding.
That was nasty.
He just kept throwing punches, and that was one of the most driven individuals I've ever seen in the boxing ring that wanted to win that championship so badly.
Yeah. All right, folks. You got any more questions
I got a
couple more from Dave. Okay.
So
this is the extended version. This is the LP.
Well, we get a little different, different slant than every other.
So
have you ever lost your cool?
That's a good question. Yeah, a couple times on the phone when you just get frustrated when you're negotiating with someone, or if someone just not being reasonable. And I'm probably the most reasonable, or one of the most reasonable people out there, just trying to make deals. That's why I don't understand the whole Triple G phenomenon. How you have a guy with multiple world titles, you're like offering, okay, here's the world titles, you want to fight for him, and these guys are like, nah, maybe I'll fight next year. I'll fight him, but next year. That's the whole.
And you're also offering them career high paydays too.
I mean, between Denny Jacobs, Kell Brook.
And by the way, I don't mind them saying not now, or let me wait until he looks like a human being. But then when they get on social media, or these,
as soon as the fight's
these
made,
YouTube guys,
as soon as the fight's made, then everyone comes out of the woodwork.
Especially
Lara.
Landy Lara.
Lara's
Man, get
classic.
out of here, dude.
He's a
Bro,
classic
fight
guy.
one middleweight. Fight one of those PBC middleweights. Call Al Heyman, get one fight.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, or even like the
That would
kid
be the
Jamal
easiest way.
Charlo.
Yeah.
You know what? He
That would
just
be
steps
easy
up to
fight
middleweight.
to make,
Fight somebody within your league.
Yeah.
Whip his ass.
Yeah.
Actually get on the board
That's the
as a
trip.
middleweight contender. And then you have a platform.
That's the Triple G phenomenon. As soon as we make a fight, then everyone comes out and says, "Yeah, I'll fight Triple G."
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you attribute that you're so mellow and calm? I mean, it's an incredible thing.
It's just been.
He was the man of the house. Your father passed away. You got,
Yeah.
you had like a responsibility role within your household at a young age. I think that maturity.
Well,
is something.
that and it's just always been my demeanor, pretty much, and it's helped in the boxing business. You get really emotional guys that are screaming and yelling, but I don't really think that.
You're like
helps.
the anti-Lou
It doesn't help make the
DiBella.
fight.
Like you're DiBella from the antimatter universe. Like you're the alternative reality.
Oh, so I just have two more.
I just like to make fights. I like to make. I don't like to scream.
Well, he
and
does
yell.
too.
I
But he
wanna
just likes
put
to
fights
scream,
together.
yell, and curse and freak out while he does it.
Yeah, but
you
he's
know?
great. He's great.
No, he is.
I love
I
Lou
mean,
DiBella.
he's
good. So I just have two more.
Yeah.
So
Lou's
what's
a
your
colorful
character?
guy.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite?
Lou, actually, I got one more.
Yeah, you knew
side
Lou
note
when
to
he
that.
was with HBO, right?
Lou, I have to give Lou credit that
Yeah.
he was with HBO. He's the one that put Kevin Kelly on HBO. He
Yep.
was the first fighter on HBO, first featherweight on HBO, I think, since
Yep.
Salvador Sanchez.
Wow.
When he gave Kevin the opportunity. I mean, he put him in with killers every time.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a
No
favor
soft
it
touches.
was.
Yeah, no soft touches.
Gorio Vargas was the first fight. And
Yeah.
Gorio Vargas was just such a big puncher.
And a very good boxer.
Right, and Kevin won that on I think it was the undercard of Michael Moore. It was always the heavy. The
Yeah.
Kevin Kelly formula was, it was a featherweight
Put him with
championship.
a boring heavyweight. So he's
with-
underneath
and
Michael
the main
Moore and
event.
Lennox Lewis.
Yep, no, those were the two guys. He
I
was
remember the
main
commercials.
events, and Kevin always would steal the show, and so the fans would be like, "Yeah, I want to see that guy again," because the heavyweights wouldn't be as exciting as the featherweight.
So just two more little quick. So what's your favorite food?
Favorite food?
Tough questions, Dave.
No, but no one ever asked you this stuff.
Yeah. I bet somebody's asked him.
I don't think so.
I like, I try to stay healthy as I'm getting older. I like sushi. I like the fish and the rice.
Sushi's
And
good.
I was just over in Sicily, visiting some relatives over there, and the Italian food is you can't knock that. But I gained probably 5 pounds in 3 days, so I got to stick
don't have
with
to
the,
do your
gotta stick
3
with
miles,
the,
man.
with the, I got to stick with the track over here and the lower calories here in California.
Hey, we really appreciate you coming on
It's good,
talk
Dave.
to us like
All
that.
good.
Who's
This is the first
coming
time
out
where it was
last?
planned. For all those people that
by the
thought
way,
it was a
no, this
conspiracy.
question's come up.
It's the first time
Oh,
it was
yeah.
planned that I would show up.
No,
at
yeah,
this
this
time.
was planned. The other ones were not planned, folks. Swear to God. Okay, so they're asking, who's going to come out first? Who's coming out second with the Canelo-Golovkin fight? Has that been? I mean, you guys talk about it every detail. I got to imagine, like, who's considered the champion? Because
Yeah.
Triple
Well,
G's the guy
Canello's
with the
clearly-
sanctioning organizations, but Canelo,
Well,
if you're a purist, is that linear
here's the,
champ. And also, the magazine I work for recognizes him as middleweight champ.
Well, I think Gennadi's clearly the champion. He's considered the best middleweight in the world.
Well, he's the man.
But Canelo is getting the champion perks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, those are things that those are things.
Right,
that,
it's not Golovkin Alvarez,
Right.
it's Canelo,
Canelo,
Triple G.
right.
Right.
So those are the things that if it takes that to help make a fight, those aren't roadblocks. So we made that concession, and you got to give Canelo credit. I mean, he's just sold over 1 million pay-per-view buys against Chavez last weekend, and he sells a ton of tickets. So I think this will be, like I said, this is where Gennadi's fan base and Canelo's fan base together equals a multiple of 10. With that event, I mean, all the ticket requests that we're getting, the venue, proposals, HBO is considering this their biggest event in
What's
a
your
long time.
aim Somebody's asking, what's your aim for the pay-per-view? What's your hope? What number?
I never really speculate on that.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say it'll do more than what the Canelo fight did with Chavez. So if we can break a million buys, I think I think this is clearly the biggest boxing event or financial boxing event since the Floyd Manny. I gotta put Floyd first on that one. The Floyd Manny fight.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were disappointed with not only the price but also the result of that fight. And I think this fight, people realize with Triple G style coming forward and being so aggressive, and Canelo style, I don't know how it doesn't become an exciting event with their two styles.
Somebody's saying if Canelo comes out last, that's disrespectful to Triple G. And you know what? When Larry Holmes fought Jerry Cooney, I think Cooney came out last.
He's got the choice.
Because he was the star. But you know what?
Canelo has the choice.
Holmes made everything right in the fight.
I think
he punished him. So
I think the fans would rather see the fight happening and Canelo coming out second.
Yeah. So
than,
Triple G, he's got to do what Larry Holmes did.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. People keep asking me to ask you about the undercard, but I think they need to ask Golden Boy.
We were lucky. We were lucky just to do the main event fight.
Yeah, I mean,
we're gonna go down
you might have to talk to Eric Gomez about that, folks. We'll get him on next week.
That's
maybe.
an Eric Gomez question.
But everyone, as this interview's gone, everyone has been saying, "Hey, bring it to my hometown. Bring it to Miami. Bring it to Dallas. Bring it to New York.
Miami's got
bring
a big
it to
football stadium also.
Bring it to Jersey, the Meadowlands. So everybody wants this fight.
And I think I
that's
really think
good for boxing.
With their fan bases, I really think this would sell out wherever, whether it's Dodger Stadium, whether it's Cowboy Stadium, whether it's Vegas, whether it's Miami, whether it's the Garden, New Orleans. I think with their fan bases, because
New Orleans would be awesome. What a party!
Triple G brings guys in from all over,
Sure.
Australia, we get guys, the UK fans travel for him.
Sure.
And then Canelo, all the private jets that were coming up.
That's the cool thing about going to a Triple G
fight.
Fight in New York City. Yeah. You go to that boxing bar, Jimmy's Corner.
Yeah, Jimmy's Corner.
Literally, it's like the UN.
You meet people from
no bullshit. There. From around the world. You meet these people from every corner of the planet. And I say, what are you here for? And I'm here for the Triple G Fight.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he's got an international fan base. That's part of him fighting all over the world. And, don't be surprised, Murata, if everything goes the right way.
Go to Tokyo, bro.
With Canelo.
I'll be there. I guarantee
We have a great relationship with Mr. Honda. And Murata is fighting now, I think, Ndam.
Yep, Hassan Ndam for the WBA regular title, which would make him a mandatory for.
That's a great fight, and if we can go to Tokyo and go to the Tokyo Dome against Murata, that's another tremendous fight. But you never plan ahead. Now everyone's focused on the Canelo fight, and like I said, we barely just even signed it and announced it. And now we're just this is one of those fights, promotions that'll be fun to work with. Both guys, understand Gennady is probably the hardest working guy in boxing. Doing interviews, not only exciting fights in the ring, but also promoting his career, promoting his fights outside the ring. And same thing with Canelo.
Yeah,
so
they're both professional.
With these two guys, I think it'll be fun, and even the trainers. Eddie
Eddie Reynoso's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, and Abel Sanchez.
And Abel is always good for some quotes. So that'll be interesting. Even listening to the trainers talking about the fight.
Yeah. Well, somebody said he just texted. He said. Silver Dome under consideration. Okay, calm down, dude. Somebody said he just said, "Listen, don't worry about the venue. Just thanks for making the fight."
Good.
And I think that's a sentiment from most, boxing fans who aren't completely insane.
We have to give credit to Canelo and Golden Boy. Oscar said,
absolutely.
Naturally Triple G would have wanted the fight last year when the WC mandated it.
Yeah.
But the whole time Oscar said, we'll make it in September 2017.
Well, they didn't string it out. It wasn't a Mayweather-Pacquiao situation. They didn't string it out. Yeah, they didn't string it out 3, 4, 5 years.
But now, Gennady's 35, Canelo's 26. Gennady's.
Oh, Doug, it's me, Steve Kim. Oh, he was making a joke. Holy shit! Sorry, Steve. I didn't see that, man. Oh, you got me, dude. I didn't see it. Yeah, Silver Dome. I'm like, dude. I was like,
I wasn't gonna take it.
There's a lot of unhinged fans out there, Steve. I didn't. My eyes aren't too good. I couldn't see that with Steve. You see him live. Holy shit! Yeah, good one. Good one, man.
Gotcha.
Your crazy ass went to the fucking Silver Dome to see Devon Alexander and Tim Bradley. I thought
wasn't-
you
I
totally
wasn't-
lost your mind on that one. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got me. It's all good. Yeah. Yeah. But Steve also visited Emmanuel Stewart's house, so it wasn't like
So it
he
wasn't-
was
it wasn't
just
a
going for the
wasted-
fight.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
he
wasn't a
went.
wasted
He
trip.
went for the. He went to spend some time with the great Emmanuel Stewart, and he also went there to bug Gary Shaw. You give Gary Shaw shit. That's worth it. Yeah. Miami FSU game on the big screens. All right,
That's
yeah,
where
do it
Steve,
in Miami,
Steve's pulling
right?
For Miami, yeah.
Right, and then have the college football as the undercard. On screens in there. Not a bad idea. It's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I'm gonna get.
Hey,
I'm
yeah,
actually
man.
gonna do some
we've had
exercise
yeah,
today.
yeah. You got to do your laps, bro.
Yeah.
I need to skip some rope and run some more sprints.
Cool.
But-
Well, I
no,
appreciate
thank you,
it.
Tom. Appreciate it.
Love the shirts.
Yes,
guys.
yeah. I'm
JP.
sorry I didn't wear one,
Thank
Tom,
you.
but I got to be
Good.
neutral,
Thanks,
bro.
JP. Thanks, JP.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I do want to say that if